Hello everyone, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. This is card number 7 in my holiday card series for 2015, and this is also concluding my series for this year. So this will be my last card that I'm making for this year's series. So we're going to be making a whole big scene in this card today. So I'm going to start off by doing some ink blending, as you can see. So I'm going to be using a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. And I've got 3 distress ink colors that I'm using, which is Broken China, Blueprint Sketch, and Shaded Lilac. And actually the Shaded Lilac really didn't make a whole lot of difference, but I used it anyway. The primary color of this is going to be the Broken China. So I started off with that, and then I'm going to end with the Blueprint Sketch. And I really do like adding Blueprint Sketch when I'm making any kind of sky or wintry scene here, because it has that Blueprint Sketch is between that blue and purple color. It just has a really, really nice hue to it. And it really does work well with the other blues and the Distress ink line, I think. So that's why I like to use it. It's one of my new favorites, and so I'm happy they brought it out this year. So, kind of side note, have any of y'all all ordered the new ink colors? Every single one? Is there one that you didn't like? Be interesting to find out if there's one that you didn't like out of the whole line this year. So if you will, just go ahead and leave me a comment, and so I'd like to hear from you guys on that, just for something fun. So anyway, so back to the card. I'm just blending out my colors together here, and just making sure that they're well good and blended. Of course, as this dries, it will get it will kind of blend together and meld really, really nicely together. So anyway, so we're using this stamp set from Lawn Fawn. This is the Toboggan Together. I've seen so many adorable projects done with this stamp set. And actually, this is my first time inking it up. I've had it for obviously a while, but this is the first opportunity that I have actually played with it. So now I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of snowflakes from this set. And this is the Simon Says Stamp Pigment White ink. This is the first time that I'm using this ink too. So, and it's really, really juicy. So I had to be really, really light-handed. Whenever I inked it up the first time, I had to stamp it off onto some scratch paper because it was a little bit too much ink on there. So I really, really had to be light-handed on it. But anyway, so I went ahead and added these snowflakes just to add a little bit of something in the background there. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry. So now we're going to do some stamping and Copic coloring here. So I'm going to take the 2 little penguins from this stamp set, and I'm inking that up with my Memento Tuxedo Black. Usually, lately anyway, I have been using my MFT Hybrid Black ink, but today I decided to go ahead and go back to my Memento. They're both good inks for Copic coloring, I feel. And I just purchased, in fact, this past week, I just purchased the new Simon Says Stamp Intense Black. It is intended for alcohol markers, so I'm anxious to get that in the mail and try it out and see how I like it too. I'm always looking for a really, really great black ink, especially for Copic coloring and such. Even though these are really, really great, you're never satisfied, right? So anyway, and something new to try. So I'll let y'all guys know how I like that in the later video. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and do our Copic coloring, and I'm using all cool grays for this. And I'm just going to make sure that I keep the lids up so you can see which ones I'm using. But as I've mentioned before, I am trying to do a little bit more of coloring tutorials for my videos, and so I'm hoping that y'all are enjoying them. So hopefully you'll give me a thumbs up if you are enjoying them. But so I'm getting, I'm a student, if you will, when it comes to coloring. But luckily with Copics, it kind of makes it easy. I mean, they do the work for you pretty much. And so if you're new to newer than me anyway, if you're brand new to Copic coloring and are deciding, if this is something right for you, just get a couple of colors and try them out. And, the magic happens when these colors blend together. Like I said, they really do the work for you. So I am enjoying them, and I really don't have a whole lot of Copics. I mean, I've got a pretty good collection, but I don't have every single one, not even near it. So, and you don't need every single one. So I just picked out of trial and error, I just picked out the ones that I thought I would use the most. And of course I watched a lot of tutorials as well on which Copics that I thought were best for me, and I liked the color combinations and such. So, just take your time and kind of figure out which ones that you think you would like the most, and go slow, because it's all about creating and experimenting and seeing what you like. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got my first one colored there, as you can see. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my second little penguin there. And I'm just kind of blending it out. I actually liked how I colored this second one a little bit better than the first. But again, I think they turned out, just fine, because those magic markers called Copics, they really do make you feel like you can, color pretty much anything. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the little tummies of my penguins here. And I'm using the C1 Cool Gray because I want to keep it as light as possible, but I didn't want to just leave it just, plain white. So I've gone ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and use that Cool Gray. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with my colorless blender. And the colorless blender is kind of an odd name because, it's great for different techniques and different situations, like something like this. It doesn't necessarily take color away or erase it, but it does help you, if you get outside the lines or something, it does help push the ink back into the lines if you were to get outside of the line. It's, stuff like that. So it's good for that, and good for blending out lighter colors too. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the little beaks and the little feet. So I'm finished with my little penguins, and now I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of color to my little snowballs here. I'm using the BG10 for this, and this just gives the illusion that it's more white than just leaving it plain. And again, using my colorless blender just to blend that out. And as it dries, it's going to really, really die down and really, really get light anyway. So, but it just helps it blend it out. So I've pulled back my distress, or my main panel that I'm using, because my ink has dried now. And off camera, I went ahead and die cut a couple of snow hills or snowbanks, if you will, with my Lawn Fawn dies. And I also die cut this snow caps from Mama. This die set is from Mama Elephant, the snow caps. So I wanted to use it too. I'm trying to use up some of the supplies that I've bought within the last few months that I haven't got to yet. And I forgot that I had purchased this snow caps die, so I wanted to use it today in today's card as well. So, and I think it's so adorable too. So I die cut that out of some, I believe this is sea glass cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, I believe, but I will be sure that I have everything that I used listed and linked below the video, as always, for you guys in case you're interested. So there is this little motion, I guess, stamp in this stamp set where it looks like they're kicking the snow or a snowball. So I went ahead and used my same black ink, but I inked it up and then stamped it off so it would be not so harsh. So it looks more gray than it does black. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down some of these pieces here. That way, for one, I won't lose them, and two, make sure I place them down, because I like the placement of them. And so I just wanted to get this portion, done and out of the way. So I'm using my Tombow Mono here today to do this, to glue all these pieces down, simply because when you're working with little pieces like this, it's better to have liquid glue, I feel, because it gives you more time to move around your pieces and get them placed to where you want them. So you can't beat that, you know. It's a little bit hard to do this with, you know, a tape runner or whatever. So I really highly suggest you using liquid glue of your choice. So, but now I'm going to go ahead and take my largest stitched rectangle die from On Fawn, and because I just wanted to add that stitching edge around my main panel here, since I had the stitching around the other die cuts, and just kind of make them look all cohesive on one project here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some ink to, I had something on my cardstock, I don't know what, but I'm taking my eraser here and just kind of removing that. Nobody will ever know. So I'm taking my glue and just making sure that I've got all my pieces lined up the way I want them. And now I'm just going to add some glue to the little snow cap portions of the die. And I really do love the stitching detail around the little snow caps. It just really makes this whole die. I really do. It just instead of just plain, it's got that stitching, and I just absolutely love it. It's so cute. So if you don't have this die, I highly suggest it, because you can use it just for more than just winter cards. You could definitely use it for other types of scenes. So it'd be really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up adding my little snow caps here. And then just making sure that now I want to go ahead and take my scissors here and just go ahead and cut off my ends. That way it's all good and flush. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my little lower panel here too. So I'm going to go ahead and add my foam adhesive on this piece here, because I just want to add just a little bit of dimension to it. That's what I love about this big roll of Scotch foam tape, that it's so thin that if you wanted to double it up, you could, but I like how thin it is, and of course that obviously it's in a big roll, so you have one long continuous strip that you're working with, and it makes it easier too. So now I'll go ahead and place that onto my card, and I'm going to snip off the ends for that and just make sure that everything is good and flush. And I decided to go ahead and stamp and color in some trees. Now the stamp, or the ink that I used for this, is the Fern ink from Someone Says Stamp, and I went ahead and die cut those off camera there. And I'm going to go ahead and add these to my scene, and I'll also add just a little bit of extra pop of color to our scene, and add something a little bit extra too. So you can see how that just really adds to the scene there. So I'm just going to pop those on with my glue adhesive as well. Just make sure those are good and adhered. And now I'm just making sure. Now my card base today is not a complete A2 size. I think it's like 5.5 by 6. It's kind of an odd size. I don't know how I did this, but it kind of worked out. But I like the fact that it's got the border of the sea glass around the two edges there. So I just went with it and used it. So it's a nice little size card there. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment to the inside of my card today, and it's from the same stamp set, and I've inked it up with the Versamark or VersaFine. I can get it out here. VersaFine Onyx Black. And it says Merry Christmas to Cool Friend, and I'm going to go ahead and add the little exclamation point to the end there. So I thought that was fun to have the sentiment on the inside and have the scene on the outside. And I'm just going to take my bone folder here and just make sure that's good and creased down to make a really good crisp fold. And for some final touches, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella here. Of course, you can't have a snow scene without Wink of Stella. And it just really does add to the scene here. And it just makes it nice and shiny and sparkly and pretty. And I really do think that you just can't go without Wink of Stella. So I've kind of slowed it down here, and I've also added just a little bit to the trees there too. And I'm going to just finish that up, and that pretty much finishes up the card tutorial for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all watching my series. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the tutorial. All the supplies that I said before are listed and linked below the video. And I hope y'all have a very, very Merry Christmas. And on screen are some close-ups of the card, as well as at the end I've got 2 more videos, the card that I made previous, as well as just a another card that I did with the resist technique. So Merry Christmas, guys, and thank you so much for watching.